Where's the swear buzzer that you can cut that out for us?
Yeah, that's right. The magic one.
Editing on demand or editing on request can be done at a fee-for-service base later on. Happy to talk about that.
Okay.
Okay. Miss McPhee, how are we? I'll get to you and unmute you a bit later on, but we're going to get going. So, hello and welcome to the second season of the New South Wales Arboriculture and Victorian Tree Industry Organisation and Friends COVID Quiz. As the ad says, we're back on a brand new day with a brand new time, but the same old jokes. Now, while most of the country experiments with public gatherings and to varied excess, here in Victoria, we're on day one of a citywide mask ball. And that's not a plug for citywide, but we're happy to talk to you about sponsorship later on. Sounds, music, dancing, and much of the fun that's said to come with mask balls, that is. It is a very unusual time and it's not fun for everyone. We did our first quiz on May 8, Mates Day, a day in which people are encouraged to reach out to their loved ones and friends that may not be having such a great time. The reason why I wear this shirt each episode is because it's a visible statement that it's not only okay to talk about mental health issues and depression, it's encouraged, and I'm here if you want to talk to somebody about something. By the way, I do wash it on occasion. VTIO produced a mental wellbeing for tree workers booklet a few years ago, and in it you'll find some great tips and many contact phone numbers, and I will try to figure out the screen sharing to show you what that looks like. Here we go. As I said, and if you read through it with all the tips, we've got a couple of helpful phone numbers for people who need them. Be sure to let your friends know about it. But I'd like to first cross up to Sam Hardingham from New South Wales Arboriculture, our co-host. Hello, Sam. What's going up in New South Wales where you can walk around mask free?
Shane, we've got increasing numbers of COVID, but for most people, we can all still go to work, which is good. We've just got to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Vermeer. Their dealerships in Eastern Creek, New South Wales, and Derrimut, somewhere in Victoria.
Derrimut, Queen?
Derrimut, yeah. Thank you. They're stocking a range of arbor gear to check out, including ropes, mechanical devices, harnesses, PPE, and helmets. Both these dealerships have an arbor zone where you can try them on and test them out before you commit to purchase. Vermeer have teamed up with RDO Equipment and are now able to offer you more. You can reach your trusted Vermeer representative if you wish to find out more information or demo any of the latest John Deere compact equipment. They've got a new dealership opening in Newcastle in 2021, which will be good for me because that's right on my doorstep. And Aaron and Shannon are the guys to speak to for any used equipment. The branches in Sydney, Albury and Melbourne are all open and taking orders for any arbor gear. You can give them a call on 1300 Vermeer.
So usually about this time of year, Sam, they would be organising their seminars, their arbor seminars.
They are, yes. And if I can share my screen now, if this is going to work. There we go. There is their, this year they're doing a webinar series, which will be over 4 days. It's 1 hour each day. It's only $15, I think, if you want to watch it there and then. Or if you
What
pay,
a reasonable price that is too, Sam.
Yeah. Small price for some personal development. And I think if you pay the $30, you can do it in your own time. And yeah, that's pretty good, considering we can't do anything else this year. So yeah, check it out on the Vermeer website.
Well, I'm sure we'll be seeing more about that on the New South Wales Arb Facebook page, and that might sneakily attach to one or two of our social media platforms as well.
Yeah. We'll try and get it out there. All right. Cheers.
So, on offer each week for the prizes of the guests, we have a fantastic piece of equipment that's usually been left behind from an arbor camp or a seminar. This week, we've got the same. left behind at the 2017 Pax Hill Scout Camp is this stylish climb work rescue. Can be used as a bandana, can be used as a wristband, can also, coincidentally for this week, be used as a face mask. It's a multi-purpose tool, and the lucky guest tonight, the lucky winner tonight, gets to take this home so they can mask up if you have to, or Sam, if you need to. So let me introduce the guests who are playing for this wonderful piece of merchandise. Ellie Jasper is the current Arboricultural Australia's Chair of Women in Arboriculture. She is the lead consultant at Active Trees, having taken up the challenge of developing their business arm after many years of working in the private consulting industry. You've seen her at many VTIO events, in the crowd at seminars, and helping at climbing competitions and other activities. Hello, Miss Jasper. Tell us what's up with women in arboriculture and how's COVID affecting the organisation?
Look, it's honestly been quiet. Obviously, we were gearing up for a really ripper event at the conference this year up in Queensland, and that's obviously not going to happen, but hasn't been cancelled. It only means it gives us more time to plan for bigger and better things when we're allowed to actually meet face to face. And yeah, look, COVID obviously has put a bit of a hold on a lot of things at the moment, but I think like most organisations, like most businesses, we're just forging ahead with what we can do. And I'm very much getting used to this brand new technology of telling people they're on mute numerous times throughout any meetings. So all in all, I think we're all keeping pretty well and safe. And you know, our mission is still to obviously drive increased diversity in the industry and provide ways that we can really welcome a lot more women and other resources into the industry that they may not necessarily have considered. So yeah, exciting times ahead, Shane.
That's certainly not a conversation we're looking to steer clear of. We're happy to keep talking to you about that. Samantha Ning is responsible for managing the ACT's Tree Protection Act and some of the 760,000 trees on public land. And a few weeks ago, all the efforts she put into producing ACT Tree Week went away in a COVID cloud. Her hobbies include coordinating the ACT tree climbing competition. All the way from Canberra, it's our very first guest from the territories. Miss Ning, welcome to the show.
Hi everybody. Thanks for having me. It's very exciting. Yeah, I guess I work in the Department of Transport Canberra and City Services in Canberra, and like Shane said, we manage 700. We've just done a planting program, 766,000 trees on streets and parks and road veggies. And we also administer the Tree Protection Act, which covers trees on leased land, private property, and there's probably about that many again. So pretty big urban forest to look after and lots of beautiful trees. So we started Tree Week about 6 years ago. It was just a bit of a, you know, we all love trees and let's positively brainwash the rest of the community to love trees as well. So it's basically first week of May because autumn is beautiful in Canberra, and community groups and industry organise events during that week, and we basically plug it for them as the ACT government and manage that. And as part of that, we do the ACT Tree Climbing Championships. So I sit on the ACTC, which is the ACT's arm of Arboriculture Australia. And I am not a climber, and I am 2 units off my Cert 5 in arboriculture, so I'm almost an arborist. But my background is a forestry degree, but that was about 20 years ago now. So yeah, I'm really excited to be part of your quiz tonight. So if anyone's got any questions.
Canberra, Sam?
Sorry?
Was that in Canberra, your forestry? Do they have forestry in Canberra?
Yes, at ANU. Well, they used to 20 years ago when I did it at ANU. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately for you, I don't have too many silviculture questions tonight, but we'll see how we go. Sarah Priestley transitioned into local government tree management after developing skills in the private sector. Her commitment to industry development saw her take up the position of Chair of Council of Arboriculture Victoria, the first and to this date, the only woman to hold that position. Her work passions include capacity building and developing staff that work in a department. After a brief interlude with the private consulting again, Sarah decided to step back into local government just before COVID hit. Miss Priestley, welcome to the show, and tell us, how's that working for you? And what's that, Ellie?
You're on mute.
Nice work, Sarah.
Thank you. Learning to operate mute has been one of the biggest challenges. It's funny, when I started learning ARB, I never thought that we had to do computers, and I was sitting there at the time going, I want to learn about trees, not computers. Who knew how much we'd rely on them? No, COVID's been interesting. I've got a team of 26 and over half of them are on the tools. So they're still doing business as usual, but we've had to look at how they work. So looking at moving them into multiple vehicles. They look like a convoy sometimes when they turn up on site, so that we've only got, trying to keep it to maximum of 2 per vehicle. Things like that, and also setting up sites to exclude people from walking up to them and trying to minimise or maximise distance from the public for them. The rest of my team are able to work from home and just do site visits, and fortunately trees are still safe. So work is actually trundling along as usual. We're getting some good things done actually. We've been planting ferociously because it's been such a great season, and it's been a bit of an exciting year in some ways, as well as being terribly dull on the social front.
We'll see if we can change that up tonight for you for at least for 30 minutes, if nothing less.
Yep.
Lastly, but certainly not leastly, we have Naomi Billington. Naomi started her tree cutting career with Arbozone before moving to tree tactics to work with the VTIO past president, Pat Kenyon. She's competed the Victorian Tree Climbing Championships and the Australian Tree Climbing Championships, and she's currently back with Arbozone as they work their way through COVID experience. Naomi, what's going on in your world lately?
My world has been a world of recovery. I've recently, or 8 months ago, fallen out of a tree and been recovering from that. I hope to still climb. It was said that I probably never would, but then it was said that I'd probably never walk again, and it's trundling on these days. So, just one of recovery, I'd say. Yeah, and maybe I had a bit of a drug addiction going on. I was plied with a lot of drugs in the hospital, so I had to wean myself off a lot of those. So, I wasn't exactly, the most nicest person to be around for a little while there.
Well, there's a good thing about social distancing sometimes.
I must say, it was a convenient time for me, and that's not to, of course, escapulate on everyone else's bad time. But, other than the pools closing on a most integral time, it worked out good for me.
Cool. So we're going to move in and start asking the questions. Points are rewarded on a sliding scale, with the most correct answer getting the most points. If the most correct answer hasn't been given, I'll throw it open to others to have a crack. To explain what I mean by most correct, here's an example of what is the botanical name of a silver princess. Eucalyptus is correct. Eucalyptus casea is more correct. Eucalyptus casea subspecies magna is still more correct, and Eucalyptus casea subspecies magna brooker and hopper is the most correct. So as we scale up. For those people who are watching from home on their podcasts, we'll be doing the Kahoot Quiz later on. You want a second screen so you can plug it, but we'll talk to you more about that later on. This week, I'd like to thank Mark Hartley and Rebecca James for some of the quiz questions, and the VTO committee members that provided some of the Kahoot questions. So if you're playing at home and you have some questions that you think may work for us, there may be prizes for interesting questions. Send them through to media, MEDIA @vtio.org.au. Everybody ready? Can I check your buzzers? They seem to be working. Okay, question 1. The seed of which tree is used to play the schoolyard game of conkers? That's a Naomi.
Oh, goodness. Then I'll have to say, I actually forgot this one. No, I'm sorry.
You're right.
Pat.
You have. I think next may have been Sarah. Sam? Yep. Okay. Sarah.
Horse chestnut, the Aesculus.
Okay. Do you want to upscale? Do you want to upsize that?
Oh,
would you like species with that?
Hippocastaneum.
Wow. Good pull.
I'm going to give you Aesculus hippocastanum.
Thank you.
I might take 1 point off.
All right.
19 points. Good job. Okay, question 2, and this is where it's going to test your tree knowledge out. Name the conifers listed in the Monty Python Lumberjack song. You can go one at a time if you want.
I've only got the first 2 lines of the song.
So have I, Sarah. We could sing it all.
You don't want me to do that.
So you're thinking about the lead-in is Michael Palin is walking through the forest, transitioning from his weather presentation, talking about how he wanted to be a lumberjack, walking through the forest of Canada, looking at the...
Douglas, yeah?
Well, they do have furs.
Okay, well, I'm guessing fur.
Okay, what type of fur? Give me a genus species for a fur we should find in Canada.
Find in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know.
Okay, Naomi.
Go.
Pseudotungo mensii, which would be Douglas fir.
Actually, after abies in Canada.
Ah, you know, that
Abies.
was my first one.
Damn Canadians.
Any guesses?
Abies, piney.
So he lists through them as he goes through the giant redwoods, being Sequoia dendron giganteum, the larch Larix occidentalis, fir Abies balsamea, Scots pine, Pinus sylvestris, aspen, which is most likely Populus tremuloides because they grow more north than Populus grandidentata. They also refer to the lofty flowering cherry, the limping rue tree of Nigeria, the towering wattle of Aldershot, the maidenhead weeping water plant, the naughty Leicester flashing oak, the flatulent elm of West Ruislip, the Quercus maximus gascoigne, and the Epigulus. So what we all need to do next week is watch maybe some young ones, because we may be watching some tree-related questions to the young ones. Probably not, though. The wood of what tree was commonly used to make English longbows? Sarah.
I don't know the, it's larch, isn't it? But I don't know the common name. No, okay. I mean the botanic name, damn.
A willow?
Ellie.
A willow?
No.
No.
The grey alder, Arnis incana.
Oh.
Sarah, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Yes, Sarah.
Am I still on? No, I'm not
Yep.
on mute.
No.
Ash, Fraxinus.
No, I thought so until I looked into the
Yeah.
answer.
Oh,
Last
okay.
chance, Naomi.
Arnis incana.
No. Ellie.
The poplar.
No.
The elm?
Let's just keep throwing out trees we know grow there until we
Eventually we're going to get to.
They should get it.
I'll give you 5 points for that, Sarah, because it is Taxus baccata.
There you go.
The yew was the wood of choice for longbow making. The heartwood is always on the inside of the bow with the sapwood on the outside. This makes the most efficient use of their properties, as the heartwood is best in compression whilst the sapwood is superior in tension. Baccata is Latin for bearing berries, and the word yew was originally used to refer to the brown colour.
Did you know, and I don't know if it's still true, but in the 90s, it was still law that you had to practice your longbow for 2 hours every Sunday in England.
You're still not allowed to take the swans off the River Thames that belong to the Crown.
Oh. There's swans on the River Thames. That's hopeful.
Is it swans? I think it's swans. It's not.
It'll be swans, I reckon.
Yeah.
No, I thought
Unless
it was so polluted that it wouldn't, populate any animals. So that's good.
Well, we shouldn't be eating swans anyway, should we, Gnomes?
Wait, now you tell me.
Okay, now, Avatar is a 2009 American epic science fiction film directed, written, produced and co-edited by James Cameron, who made the sequel to Alien, starring Sigourney Weaver. Avatar also stars Sigourney Weaver, who was in our first ever movie trivia question. It's 2,154 humans have depleted Earth's resources, leading to severe energy crisis. The Resources Development Administration mines a valuable mineral on Pandora, a densely forested habitable moon orbiting Polyphemus, inhabited by the Na'vi, a species of 10-foot-tall blue-skinned sapient humanoids live in harmony with nature and worship a mother goddess named Iwa. Standing above the richest deposit of the aforesaid mentioned valuable mineral in the area is the clan's gathering place, a giant tree called the Home Tree, and there's our tenuous link. What was the valuable mineral they were mining? I did say it was tenuous at best at times. It's a 3-hour movie, and I think they mention it once.
That was a 3-hour question.
And it's not the longest I've ever asked.
I don't even remember the start of the question. I've got to be honest. You lost me. Oh.
Can we chuck random elements at you, like phosphorus?
You can, but they won't be right. Because the answer to this question, like most of the answers to most of the questions I ask, unobtainium. was the response we're after. Moving on to question 5, and hopefully this is a little bit easier. What tree do silkworms feed on?
Oh, yes.
Sarah.
Morris alba.
Bang, 20 points. Do we know why you're using white mulberry?
Because, well, they don't like the black one.
That's right.
Yeah.
James I decided in the early 1600s that England needed its own silk industry to rival the success of that of France and Italy. All went swimmingly when James ordered thousands of mulberry trees on his own account, which were planted on several acres covering parts of Buckingham Palace. However, he planted black mulberries and the England silk industry stayed where it was, absolutely nowhere. Which country is named after a tree?
Cyprus.
Thanks for helping us out, Trace.
I'm so lost.
As Garfield would say, close but no lasagna. You'd have to be nuts not to get this.
I think we're nuts.
That's the closest thing to a clue as I could give you.
Walnut?
I got it.
Do you want to give him a hint, Sam?
Oh, Brazil. Oh.
Brazil. Yes.
Wow.
Sarah, good job.
I need more wines. That's obviously working for Sarah.
Jeez, guys. It's my Friday night too. That always sparks it up.
I have not drunk enough.
I just got boring coffee.
I never believed those words to be true. The name Brazil is shortened from the form Terra do Brasil, meaning land of the Brazil, a reference to the trees growing there, which were a source of commercial exploitation by the Portuguese for the production of wood dyes for the European textile industry. For bonus points, what is the tree? What is the name of the tree after which Brazil is named?
I don't know that.
It's the Brazil wood or the Pernambuco wood. It's the Pau-Brasilia enchinata. The term for the Brazil wood tree in Portuguese, pau-brasil, is derived from brasa, meaning ember, the reference to the dark red colour, which formed the dye. Specific field of study for fruit and fruit cultivation is? Sarah.
No, I was going to say viticulture, but that's only one sort of fruit.
That's the nice kind of fruit, though.
Yes.
It's a fruit I need more of.
Utility trees?
That's enology. The specific field of fruit study for fruit and fruit cultivation is called pomology. Now, staying with fruits, the world record for the highest number of different fruits produced on the same tree is how many?
3.
Sarah. Was that
6.
6. You're your clubhouse leader at the moment.
12.
Nowhere near it. Sorry, you're going the wrong way. Sam, I'm going to give you one last crack.
Pick a number.
Sam Tree Sam or Sam from
Sam Tree Sam.
Sam.
Yeah. Sam guest playing the quiz, Sam.
4.
Oh, okay. So Sam and Sarah, I'll give you some points each. The correct answer is 5. They're all prunus. Does anyone want to have a guess at what type of fruits they were?
Plums.
Is 1.
Cherries.
Is 2.
Plum.
Just shout out names, Naomi.
Oh,
Pears.
Yep. Who said apricot?
yeah, that's me.
Yep. Peach. Yep, we have peach for Ellie. Was that Ellie? Oh no, it's Tracy.
Tracy.
And nectarine sounds out the bunch. This fruit species were grafted onto a prune tree, which is surprising because prunes are dried plums. In 2000 by Luis Hayes Claso E of Chile. Question 9. While early European explorers had detailed the presence of eucalyptus on the Australian continent as early as the mid-1600s, it wasn't until 1786 that the genus was actually named and described. It shouldn't come as a surprise that the eucalyptus was not named by Joseph Banks, who first brought the specimens back to England by people who have been studying trees. What nationality was the person who first named the genus?
Dutch?
You're close geographically.
Holland.
Isn't that the same place?
Well, Holland is surrounded with German.
Ellie?
German, is it?
They share a border.
They do. There's probably more snail eating going on here. If I can be absolutely. Charles Louis Le Héritier de Brutel is the closest I'm ever going to get to pronouncing his name. So he was allowed access to Banks's London specimens, which were collected during his third voyage to Australia, and observed that one of the dried pieces of the tree had a fruit that was barrel or egg-shaped, and noted the smooth casing and operculum around the developing flowers. Its leaves were described as asymmetrical and unbalanced in the way that they grew. What is the literal, from the Greek, what is the literal translation of the term eucalyptus?
Means covering.
Have a crack at being a little bit more correct. We're close.
So the kale would be the cover. So
Yes, so the
is it
oh,
inside?
what's the end bit called? Covers the flowers.
The operculum.
The operculum.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's describing the operculum, and he said that basically uses the operculum to describe the seed as being eucalyptus, being two words from the Greek, meaning covered is one of them. Meaning well, and calyptus meaning covered. So eucalyptus is well covered seed. For our last chance at points and bonus points, what was the first eucalyptus ever described?
I know this one. Give me a second. It is eucalyptus. Oh, hang on. I fell out of this tree. I should know it.
I'm pretty sure. I was just about to say, I think you were probably climbing one of them not long.
Yes, I was. Hang on. Sorry, but I obviously knocked my brain around a little bit too. It's not Dives, and it is the most common one in Australia, the first one cited by Captain Cook. Now it's called... Oh, my team will kill me if I don't get this one. No, my brain's not working.
Okay, I'm going to throw that open to the crowd.
It's a guess, but leucoxylin?
No.
Keep guessing.
Camaldulensis?
No.
Yeah.
Sam?
Galigna?
Sam Hardingham?
Got nothing on this one.
What about
Tracy's
Tracy?
nodding.
I was going to go Camaldulensis and then Saligna, so I'm out.
Okay. So Naomi's going to go, oh yeah, when we say Eucalyptus obliqua.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, I'm not very good at maths, but I don't think I need to be tonight. Say hello to your new bandana, face mask, wristband, Sarah.
Awesome. Thanks. I'm going to look so cool down the street.
Now,
Hard to drink red wine with a bandana on, says.
when it comes with a handy straw. We are not spending a lot of money on production values for this show, and even less so on the prizes, but we still need to spend money, and that money comes from sponsors. The McPhees is a second generation family-owned company that have been attending workshops and seminars run by his VTIO for over 10 years. Well, and to be fair, the first time I met David was at an event run through CAV. But the McPhee family and their employees are a staple at arbor camps and other events. And last year, I pestered them for a while, saying you should take up one of our small business sponsors. It'll save you heaps of money, so you're not paying for tickets every time you turn up to events. And then COVID hit, and you haven't been able to turn up to events. I feel like I've shafted you a fair bit there, Tracy.
I feel like we gained a lot over many years out of the knowledge, so it's fine. We're even.
So that's what I want to talk to you about as a valued small business sponsor, because VTO relies on the sponsorship at many levels. As a business who's turning up to our industry events, David and your employees are turning up to our workshops and seminars. So you're obviously seeing value in the training we put on. Tell us a little bit about what's it like to be operating a small business in rural Victoria during the COVID-19, and what it's like to have a reasonably active tree industry organisation out there to help you if you want it.
It's been a roller coaster is probably the one word I'd use to describe it. When COVID hit, we sort of panicked because a lot of our clients were major tourism based or government. So Phillip Island Nature Park, Grand Prix Circuit, and Shire and weddings was a big thing down here. So some large properties with a lot of trees and beautiful grounds with weddings. So when the lockdown occurred, all the nature park work ceased because all the overseas clients couldn't come for distancing rules. They couldn't come. Same with GP, that's been cancelled this year. So the budgets that they had just disappeared, and that was a lot of our sort of 50% of our client base. But then what surprised us was our client base in the small sort of mum and dad area picked up because everyone was in isolation in their holiday home and wanted work done. So the demographics of our client base completely changed, but it's been good. We had staffing issues in terms of spacing and homeschooling. We lost staff to homeschooling quite often. So trying to navigate that at the same time has been challenging. But overall, we're ticking along quite well, which has been great. We've retained pretty much all of our staff, which has been good. And I think we were flexible enough to change that client demographic because of the training our staff have had. So we've always been to all the VTIO things, as you know. A lot of our competitors haven't, and we never see them anywhere. And so our staff as a whole are able to go on site and speak to anyone and add value to our business instead of having one or two key players and the rest of the work base just the workers and doesn't know what they're doing. I think the investment we've put into training over all those years has really enabled us to be a bit more flexible and dynamic in this environment and what's seen us through. And we're, doing quite well, surprisingly. So it's been interesting.
Cool. And you've done a better paid advertisement than us than I could ever hope for. Thanks.
It frustrates us when others don't attend. So for the industry as a whole, anyway.
Yeah, no, we're certainly. I tell you what, we're and Sam and I have had a bit of a chat about what we can do and where we can do it. And one of the things I know is that we've got to be really well. We're not going to promise that we're going to be able to do anything soon, but yeah, we're really keen to get back and have some face-to-face action. And this is an opportunity we're exploring at the moment to have some contact and say hello and to keep things motivated and moving. And we certainly don't have the resources to put on fantastic learning opportunities like some other industry organisations are doing. But we thank you for your ongoing support.
Yeah.
Cool. And I think I see Dave just to the left of you.
You came to spy and see what I was going to say. Hi.
Hey, Dave.
Howdy.
Hey. So we sometimes have been running the Kahoot Quiz, and we're going to try something a little bit different with the Kahoot Quiz. We're not running it tonight. We're going to be running it over the next 2 weeks. You've got until, and if I share that, can I just get confirmation we're seeing the quiz Kahoot details?
Yep.
03965285 is the PIN number we want you to put into when you go to KAHOOIT. Let's spell it out for you. KAHOOT.IT. If you type that into your quiz, you'll come to this PIN name. Put the PIN number in there. 03965285, and you can play it at your own leisure. Put in a number, a name that will be able to be used as your identifier. And at the end of the 2.5 week period, the quiz will close, or after 50 players have played it, because we can only have up to 50 participants. So the first 50 players get to have a crack. The highest scorer at the end is going to get a Canning's voucher to be used at the Canning's Outtrays online store. We're really looking forward to giving one away. We've been running a few Kahoot quizzes, but we've never had enough. We've never had any. If we've ever run one where people have participated, those people have never come back to tell us where they are. So we're really keen for people to play. We're going to try this a different way. So for those of you who have watched this on podcast, you can play this we'll try to advertise that. So once again, this number here, 039 65285, put that in the PIN number. Put your unique identifier in, nothing rude, please. Make sure you can maybe take a screenshot of that as you put it in. So when you're the winner and we get back to you, or you tell us that it was you, we can have some proof that it was you. We'll wait for a couple of weeks, and whoever has the most points after that will announce as the winner, and we'll see how we go from there. Now, but back to our guests, Ellie, Sarah, Sam, Gnomes. Thanks for playing. Thanks for turning up. To Sam Hardingham from New South Wales Arboriculture and their sponsors Vermeer, we say thank you for your support. To Tracy McPhee and the McPhees and all of the VTIO sponsors who have come back on board for the 2020-21 year, we say thank you for your support. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Stay